Thank you for joining us here today at Desertwood Days. I am your host, Kathy Blaze, and today I am here with Celeste Duckworth, founder and owner of Vertical Life Magazine and Radio. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Such a pleasure, such a pleasure.
Right.
So, Miss Celeste, I've known you in the radio and the
Mhm.
magazine industry.
Mhm.
Could you tell me how you got started in that field?
Well, my partner at the time was had the magazine in Atlanta, started in Atlanta, and I was his consultant. And we started talking and decided, we could be together on this. And so from the magazine, in fact, how he started, he was in 23 years of fashion, and I was in
Okay.
consulting. He lived in Paris for a while. I lived in Ireland for a while, and we ended up meeting through a mutual person. And so I was consulting with him and with this magazine. Part of my background as a web developer, and so I was consulting him. So we started working in the magazine, and his vision was kind of lined up with mine.
Uh-huh.
And we decided, for me to come into the magazine
Sure.
business. So now he passed away in 2014. So since 2014, we expanded to a radio platform. We expanded to a business outside of our digital marketing because we were meeting a lot of entrepreneurs on our interviews that needed help with their business. So we started a digital marketing agency where we help people get their businesses going,
Awesome.
get their businesses, whatever they need for digital footprints, we do that. We interview them, we'll put them in the magazine, we'll put them on our radio, and we have several other programs on the radio as well. So it depends on where they fit, where they'll go on that thing. So
Sure.
that's kind of how we got started. If my husband was here today, it's really big now. Now we have two hard copy magazines. We have an affiliate in the UK, and we also have an affiliate radio program in the UK as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. So when did you start it here in Arizona? Are you a native of Arizona first?
No, I'm not a native of
Okay.
Arizona. I'm actually a California native.
Okay.
Actually, when I came back to Arizona, I was coming back from Ireland. I had been doing some traveling, and he ended up here as well because he was going to be teaching at the junior college. And so we were like, okay, let's check out Arizona for a while. But I've been back and forth in Arizona
Oh.
as a kid. Do have relatives that live
Oh,
here.
okay.
So just kind of been a great place to be at the time. So we stayed here in Arizona for a while. So yeah,
Well,
we're out of Arizona, but we are 75% online.
okay.
Okay, so we're able to because we have people worldwide. So that's the way we
Right.
connect with individuals. But we started last year wanting to connect more with individuals in Arizona as well. So we started doing more work with people in Arizona.
Okay. So it's you have the online version and you have the hard copies.
I have an online version of the Vertical Life magazine as an online version.
Okay.
That's our Worldwide Life magazine. But we have two hard copies, not Vertical. There are two other ones that actually we started recently. The one is One in Music, which is actually outside of the UK, and we share kind of the articles between that magazine and the online magazine. And it's a magazine that features musicians all over
Oh.
the world. It also tells the
So
backstories
you
about
cover
musicians.
quite a
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
of
We're
range
really
in entertainment.
well, yeah, because our magazine is about sharing the stories of innovative and creative individuals.
Okay.
That's what our magazine.
Well, speaking
basically-
of creative individuals,
Mhm,
Miss Celeste, I know that you are very creative and inventive
mhm,
yourself.
mhm.
So can you tell me a little bit, give me a little bit more background behind Celeste?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've done a lot of jobs, but most of my jobs have been in the creative area. I was an academic advisor at one time at the college. I was a safety manager back east, which we had control of the states of Maryland and Virginia. Actually, started a training program where the uh, Department of Motor Vehicles had us do the licensing for them for
Okay.
buses and stuff like that. But I always had, I come from a very creative family. I come from a family of writers,
Okay.
playwrights, musicians.
So that's where I was getting to.
That's
Where
yeah,
did the
all
magazine
that is
part?
my family,
Okay.
and so just it just fit naturally. Coming from a web development background, that is
Right.
my challenge type thing to do. Okay, when I want to do something and I just want to clear my head and think about different things, and I just work on a website.
So
Okay.
someone wanting to know more about Vertical Life, explain the name to me.
Vertical Life came about as so when my husband retired from fashion, he was at a park one day and saw a bunch of kids skating on skateboards. And he was like, how come these kids are not doing more than just coming to the park and skating? So he created a team. And they became a team of skaters, had shirts in 36 stores and so they start competitions and doing that.
Okay.
And his preaching was always about let people live their life, but live a no nonsense life. And that's like straight up vertical. And so it's vertical with a K, and so that's where it came from. People kept saying to him, this whole, your whole ideal should be in a magazine. And that's actually how the magazine came about, was that way. But when one of the things we had decided to do when he turned the magazine over to me, I said, I really want to be a life magazine, worldwide life magazine.
And when you say a life magazine, tell our audience what you mean by
well,
that.
if you know the old Life magazine, was about life.
Yeah.
Okay, it was about all different aspects of life.
Right.
And that was kind of like my inspiration when it came to magazines.
But some of these young folks don't know nothing about
That's
Life
true.
magazine.
That's what I said. So Life magazine, I guess if you would say what is new kind of like life would be people. Okay, would be the next thing. Okay. But ours is Vertical Life, and it's more than that. It's about one of our things about this magazine is building bridges to other cultures, teaching people about other cultures, because we all have the same dreams and ideals and motivations. So that's why we wanted to be a Vertical Life magazine. So we want to show people that. So a lot of the innovative people have been on there. For instance, we have a program called Woman on the Rise. Woman on the Rise is about saying, I don't need corporate America no more. I want to start my own thing. I want to pursue my own passion. So we've had women come on there, and the stories, when you hear the backstory, it's amazing. Okay. They started their own business. They're doing very well for themselves. And so we just started doing that for women all over the world. And the key thing was that you don't have to wait and have $100 or $1,000 to start a business. Some of these women are started with $20, and some of these women are like standing on being millionaires.
Right. And I love the diversity that I see in your magazine.
Yes.
And so the diversity in the guests that I've seen on you, listened to on your radio show as well. So that is something that is very creative. That is something that you would find in the Life magazine.
Right.
And that is something that we try to showcase here on our show as well.
Right.
The diversity, the life, the creativity, the entertainment, and that is a lot of things that you show on your magazine and on your radio show as well.
Right. And diversity is really hard to do. It really is hard to do because you have to get past how people see you on the outside when you're out representing. Okay. And that was a thing where I insisted on everything had to be very diverse. We have people from all over the world. We have to reach out to people all over the world and bring them on here. But the whole thing is about changing the narrative of media to a positive media. It's about showing the real stories. It's about not stereotyping people. And just, putting them out there and presenting them. So we've been really blessed in the fact that we've had some real celebrities that came to Vertical first and then went out and did some great things. And so we've been, great with that. Even the interns that we have that work with us are doing great things now, which is great.
I'm not that I want you to name drop, but I know that you've had some celebrities on your show, and I was on there with a couple. Can you Tell us some of the celebrities that you've had on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so some of them are writers for some great uh, cop shows right now. But if I was think of the one that's the funniest, not funny, but I'll say this one. So before Deadpool came out, the first one, uh, we were asked if we wanted to do an interview with the person that they found to be Colossus, and we were like, yeah, because the movie hadn't been out yet, and so the interview was in New York, and we're like, we don't have nobody in New York to interview, but we had our marketing person lived in New York, and like, hey, Luis, can you do this? He's like, I don't know about no interview, and I'm like, we'll tell you what to do. And actually, he went and interviewed him, and it was a great interview.
But just sit here now.
I can't think of his name right now, but he's very popular now, and I can't think of his name right now. But he played Colossus in the first Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
So it was really funny because everyone was saying, Mom, have you seen Deadpool yet? Have you seen Deadpool? Because they know I'm a big, fan. And I'm like, no, but did you see the magazine article that had the guy in Deadpool? And they were like, no, So that's, I've had people in the modeling world, like, God, Kathy, I can't think of all their names, but we've had a lot of celebrities on there, and still have people that have contacted us when they're doing some things. Have people when one person did a online program that was on YouTube that actually got an award at the American Black Filmmakers thing, and actually got a grant to actually make it into a movie, which was really cool.
Can you tell me what's been one of your most memorable experiences?
I think one of my most memorable experiences would be my interview with Michael J. and his wife. His wife, Jillian, had been a friend of mine since I started on MySpace. It's so funny. I started on MySpace
a long time.
I was on MySpace, and then everybody I knew moved from MySpace to Facebook. So Jillian was one of those, and so it's fun to see my friends get in. So Jillian married Michael J. Michael J. does a lot of action films, and so her and Michael J. are doing some films together. And actually, she's on a TV show right now, and I can't remember the show, but she's on TV. But watching them go from there to that. So Michael J. and her did an interview with me. The interview was called Power with the Real Power Couples.
Oh, okay.
And it was focused not on being a power couple because of your your job or career. Is a focus on how are you a power couple and raising kids and doing that home stuff, going shopping and all this, and you're in the film industry.
Right.
So that was probably my most memorable and my most fun interview right there. I've had a lot, but that was my fun. Plus, I was excited because it was Michael J. Okay.
Yes.
And I would think the only other thing that tops that is my interview with Marina Sirtis from Star Trek.
Okay.
So I got an interview actually when she was at the Comic-Con here one time.
Okay.
And she was so sweet. She's like, yeah, come on back here. I'll do an interview with you. I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
So with you being a radio and magazine personality, do you get out and about in the Arizona community when it comes to entertainment?
I haven't been lately, and that's something we're just starting because we're in a phase of revamping. October is always our strategy month.
Okay.
And so we're in our phase of revamping, and we are looking at some other entities to partner with.
Okay.
Also now I do know a lot of people in Arizona, but also I'm still doing my consulting work as well. So it's going to come along. Come along.
I'm sure
my daughter she's a music engineer.
Okay.
And so with her connections too, we're kind of just solidifying some things for Vertical that we've been wanting to do. And so once we do that, we'll be doing more and more interviews in Arizona.
So with Vertical Radio, what is your style of music that one would hear on there?
Oh my goodness. That's when you need my daughter there. But anyway, I wanted music I wanted the get up Saturday morning, clean the house music that has all your favorite. But it has everything. It has music from every culture's on there. It has, just the playlist if you just
Well,
want
of
to
course,
hear
because you guys are
music.
worldwide.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. If you just want to hear some music, but like I have the music for the hip hop people. I have the music for the ladies that like to clean the house, do music. I have your relaxed
You
music.
just took me back with
I
that
just,
one.
yeah,
Those Saturdays in Arizona,
right,
Grandma told me to go out and hang up the clothes on the line and eat.
Right,
You took me back.
And then you have your, and then I have my, like I'm a Prince fan,
Okay.
and so when I want to hear music, just to blast and not hear anything else but the music. I have people like Prince. I have people like the Doobie Brothers. Just
so you
a
have
general mix of
great
everything.
diversity.
Most definitely.
So you also brought us some media today in regards to a book fest that you attend. Is it annually?
The book fest is, I would like to say, summer, fall. Biannual.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, the book fest was started during the pandemic because we usually do a LA book fest where we go to LA and a lot of authors come, and it's a festival with authors, marketers, publishers, agents all come together, and we do different things like either we're featuring our authors, we're letting them show their books, we're having agents tell people how to submit their books. Anything that has to do with writing, they do in the book fest. Okay, so I've been honored to work with them for a couple of years now. I do a lot of interviews with their authors on my station that does author interviews.
Right.
And so they invited me to be a moderator this year for a part of the program called Out of Africa. And that's where we had authors that had written books about people in Africa or about their experience in Africa. And we have one guy is talking about the cradle of Africa, talking about the cradle of civilization, where man has come from, and how do we become responsible for that? So that's what that was about.
Okay. Yeah. So we're going to take a look at that.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Great. Well, welcome to our talk, our panel, where we're talking about books out of Africa. And we're talking about the continent that gave birth to humanity. And we're also talking about some of the great stories that have come out of that. And so today, my guests are Dr. Edward Bynum, Paulina Cho, Gerald Everett Jones, and Usini Perkins. Welcome, everyone, and I'm glad that you're here today. And so just a little, as we kind of go through everybody, I'd like you just to tell everyone maybe a little bit about your book and a little bit about what you're doing. And we're going to be talking about how we can continue to create connections and stimulate imaginations through our work, through books.
Okay.
Awesome cut.
Yes. So you guys do these during the summertime? Is it something you're going to continue to do?
Oh, absolutely. This is great for me because I'm usually behind the scenes when I'm doing the interviews with authors.
How did that feel being in front of the camera?
Feels weird. I tell you what, when me and my husband first got together one time, he said to me, he goes, "Oh, I could just see you out at all these little conferences with your hat and going to the teas." I'm like, "You got the wrong sister here, brother." I said, "You got the wrong sister." But yeah, the book fest is really great. I've interviewed authors that have gotten picked up by big publishing houses like Simon & Schuster, and I've interviewed authors that have done their own self-publishing. But the great thing is that we also talk about what is their contribution to others that are reading their books, and how do they contribute to people that are trying to learn how to write a book. So that's the great thing about that. So
speaking of contributions, when you're interviewing or you're meeting folks around, are you looking for people that are contributing to the communities? Is that
am I looking for people that contribute? Yes, I do. I specifically look for people that are contributing to their communities, what they feel their responsibility is. So it doesn't matter, and that's the thing. Even when I'm interviewing people that are celebrities, my focus is not on your celebrity. It's not on your gossip. My focus is what are you doing in the background?
Right.
How does someone get to where you are?
Right.
what are you doing in your community and what do you feel your
Right,
responsibility is? Because
right.
I think that's really important.
Right.
On the news, our
Because they
regular
get
news,
enough time to toot their horn about what
Absolutely.
they do in front of the camera.
absolutely. And so there's a, we only see a short bite of that on mainstream media.
Right.
But my thing is like, no, you got to know there's some great people out here doing some awesome
True.
things that you might not ever see on mainstream media.
Right.
Right.
And you know it because it's that stuff that's considered boring.
Right.
But there's a lot of us out here that want to see those things
Mhm.
and know that someone is out here
Oh
contributing.
yeah. Oh yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Even the stories that we show. I mean, one of my favorite stories on mainstream media this week has been the fathers getting together and going to the schools and monitoring the schools.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's awesome because I'm like, fathers are an important part of the family.
Right.
And I think fathers going to the school to monitor, see what their kids are doing and
Mm.
doing it in the way a father would do. Like,
Mm.
hey, boy, what you doing? Or
Mhm.
you supposed to be in class.
I love
It's
that.
very effective.
I love that.
Mhm.
We had a guest on who had created this book about what was it? I don't want to mess up the name. When am I going to be a man? Or
Yes.
and
Mhm.
that one I really loved that
Mhm.
segment
Mhm.
because it seemed like this year, this is the last couple of years has been tough on fathers and
Mhm.
tough on men.
Right.
There's been a lot. I mean, with health issues, it's just
Mhm.
seemed like there's been a lot going on with men. So
Mhm.
it's good to see that acknowledgement is there.
Right. And we have a section in our magazine called According to Men for that because just like you said, we hardly ever see we see more about women,
Yes.
but not about a lot about men and about men's
Right.
health, men's
Right.
health. And so we did that. We do a lot of that in Vertical too. Had one individual who actually has traveled around the world and he wrote a book, a essay,
Mm.
and he got essays from men around the world that were
Oh, I
doing
love
different
that.
things. And it was really great. And I was like, you got to get that book in the schools to
Right.
some of these young men.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
So where can our audience find you?
Okay. You can find me at Facebook, Celeste Vertical Duckworth,
Okay.
Vertical with a K. You can also find Vertical Life Magazine at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Are you TikToking?
Pinterest. Yeah, my daughter said, "Oh, I hate I got you on
Oh.
TikTok." I'm like, I call it TikTok University.
Oh.
You can find
You
us
learn
on
a lot
YouTube.
on there.
Oh, you do. Overload sometimes, But anyway, yeah, we're
So you're
verticals out
pretty
there
much out.
everywhere.
Well, it was such a pleasure having you here
Thank
today.
you, Kathy. I
Thank-
appreciate you asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us here today at Desertwood Days, and we will catch you next time.